You know, the thing about playing games is you have to make it fun for you. Some people play as a self-insert, some create challenges, and some of us modify the Jet and Psycho files using Fallout 4 edits so that their effects last too long, and then create a challenge. I say modify, but I've almost certainly destroyed my game files, and will probably need to do a clean install if I ever want to play this game normally again. Because you wouldn't want me conflating what I've broken with that of a typical Bethesda title this close to launch, would you? Anyway, the rules are simple enough. The Jet lasts 5 minutes, the Psycho lasts 10. I have to remain on these substances, or I will die. I permanently have 10 health. This is lore-friendly because the chems has turned my bloodstream into Pepto-Bismol. And the success of this run hinges on me finding my son, who isn't really a person, but actually a cleverly constructed leather sack over animatronic frame in which we have stashed our pre-war chems. Now, the last thing I did was actually totally normal and not chem-related. We pulled the brain out of a corpse's skull using ordnance-related sploogage so that we can peel the chip from the goop and use the data therein to find the Institute. Dr. Amari humors the ratty junkie in her presence with some information regarding a secretive group called the Railroad who can help us with this, and we take this all on board. But this got me thinking. Best guess, what would be the absolute best method for a bottom-of-the-barrel chem addict to get into the Institute without interacting with Preston and that raggedy old bitch Mama Murphy? Ah, yes, of course, the Brotherhood of Steel. So I stumble on down to the Cambridge police station where Paladin Dance gazes on me for the first time. After rescuing him from the ghoul stalkers, he looks upon me, sizes me up. Chino no Wookie Wanawanga. And all of a sudden, we're strategizing with his inner circle of survivors trying to hold out for their rescue. Fascinating. The things you're saying to me. The things you're saying to me right now, I'm fascinated. The way you're just beaming the information into my brain. We're just staring, like, lovingly at each other. I'm invited into the police station to stock up on supplies before we head out to ArcJet Systems to get the thing, you know, the what's it. I have a mental breakdown waiting for Dance to finish his dialogue so that I may proceed. Very cool, Dance. Very cool. Alright, can we go? These crows on the road make demon callings. This spooks me so much that my animations just cease to work for the foreseeable future. There's some baddies up ahead, oh yeah. Better start cranking my laser musket. My big red, if you know what I mean. I'm over here stroking my musket. I got lotion on my musket right now. I'm just stroking my, what rhymes with musket? Clearing the enemies leveled me up, which as you all know resets my health back to default, so I have to set it back to 10 in keeping with the challenge. However, this presents me with a rather unique problem, as I now have 0 health. Easy solution, you know, we just, we crack a rat away and a stim pack and, Why is this happening? This didn't happen before, I'm just eating a stim pack. What about a refreshing beverage? Instantly dead. All that's left for me now is to OD on stim packs injected, directly into my heart. I'm not dead yet, so maybe the slush that is my body is recovering. There it is! Another win for chem addiction. I enter ArcJet Systems. I perform 3 seamless 1080-degree jumps in front of Paladin Dance, affirming his choice to bring with a chem junkie on this military skirmish. I sped this up in real time to show you just how absurd this is, so you know what I mean. Our masterful infiltration of this building is showcased by how I install Epic Games Store on the Synth's operating system, bricking them forever, and using Paladin Dance as a meat shield. Dance. Oh, my legs are broken. It all goes quite smoothly, and you know, that's sort of the whole problem with this challenge. Everything is so smooth and it takes so long that it is torture. Such as when I press the ignition button to scorch all the enemies in a room with Paladin Dance. I am sitting here for about 3 minutes, waiting. We're nearly there. It's still going. It's all happening. It's gonna happen. It's any time now. 2! Oh, we made it to 2! Yeah! We're gonna do it! It says engine firing. I know it may not look like it, but it is firing right now as we speak. You can tell it's firing because it says it on the screen, or it did. Yeah! Yeah! Eat it, Dance! Yeah, I hope it burns. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 go! No. Well, you know what? I did this to myself. And I'm a big boy and I'll deal with it. I punch this one synth into a blue screen. And we eventually leave the building with the thingy, you know, the item, via this elevator ride, which, as you may or may not have deduced by now, takes way too long and rapidly ages me. Topside, Dance watches on as I thump back a jet, and tries to give me a scorecard of like, I don't know, a C- or something.
I don't need an evaluation.
Yeah, give me credit for what I did. Tell them it was me, Dance. Tell them I helped. Now, remember what I was saying about everything going too smoothly? Well, after I am done admiring the absolute cake Knight Reese is smuggling back there, god damn, I'm tasked with flying a Vertibird to the Pridwin. Breezy, right? Wow, we're having so much fun. This flight on the Vertibird takes 9 real-world minutes of me just sitting behind a minigun, exercising inhuman restraint. And the moment I get to the Pridwin, this happens. Now, I know what you're thinking. Weird bug. Maybe wait somewhere for 7 days and 7 nights to see if the game unfucks itself. But no, what you're missing is I've neglected to tell you something. And what that is I did not sit behind a minigun and exercise inhuman restraint. Oh, Dance. It's time to go, Dance. a Vertibird! Ah, I appear to have killed one of them. You can actually see him over there flying up. Now, did I have to sustain a constant stream of fire at this Brotherhood Vertibird for a full minute, inevitably killing everyone on board and watching it go down in a ball of flames? No, not really. What? What did I do to them? We are welcomed aboard by Mr. Kells over here, and Paladin Dance refuses to salute him back. This is because Bethesda didn't animate the power armor to do that. I'm sorry. What about the way I look doesn't seem soldierly to you? Guys stumped for words.
I don't know.
Much like the Secret Service in the United States, the first thing that is expected of a chemmed-up loser arriving on the Pridwin is that you walk up right to the leader with no background check, no security, and you speak to Elder Maxson. The only problem is the guy is addressing the troops, and I do not have the patience nor the years required to handle this. Skipping dialogue is a delicate science, you see. We hit him in the face a few times, but you know, if you do it too many times and a guy gets angry, and we'll have to start this all over again. Oh yeah, how about one of these?
Free will.
No, my drugs! Oh. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just, I'm increasing morale. Oh, he's done. Speak when spoken to, scribe. Oh no, I blinded one of them. He'll never walk again. For my exemplary services, it seems Elder Maxson is promoting me to knight.
A knight? What is this, the Dark Ages?
Which is the same rank as that nerd Reese we left at the police station. Hey, thanks, Elder. I am tasked with introducing myself to the team on the Pridwin. I tell Dance that I think Elder Maxson is insane, and then look at him like this. Maintaining the stare. This light really accentuates my acne. Ingram, the mechanic of the Brotherhood, watches me do jet in front of her.
Alrighty.
No, I'm sobering up! Oh. And decides it is important I have a suit of power armor. I speak to an old guy. Who cares? Cade here tries to give me a psych evaluation.
My father said I used to sit way too close to the television. There was this one really ugly girl in college. I mean, I had to get drunk, and it was a dare. Have you had problems with the crew catching diseases?
These noises must mean that I've passed my evaluation. Maxson, who is still wearing all of his own blood over his jacket, tells me to look at that piece of shit island in the distance. And I have to do a bunch of quests relating to the things Maxson says without really paying any attention, because eventually the Brotherhood are going to be building me the machinery with which I can read that one Corsa chip and reclaim my animatronic pre-war chems bag. So, mission 1. We have to take the Vertebird down to the island and clear it of all the super mutants there. Sounds simple enough, except this takes many multiple minutes and absolutely destroys any trace of dopamine still left in my brain.
Oh, god damn it. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you.
Sadly, while doing this, my jet effect runs out, and being unable to reapply it in the Vertibird means that I have to reload. 2 times the charm, am I right? So I refresh my jet stream before I enter the Vertibird, and absolutely tear everything apart down there with minigun, and set out on foot to clear the rest. Oh yeah! Eat my ass. I'm sorry, I got carried away. You see, it's been 3 weeks on the Vertibird. Oh. Well, this is a sorry situation. How about one of these? Ah, I see. I just made him angrier. Hey, how much data do you think you can beam through one of these lasers? Like theoretically, could I send the entirety of Fortnite into the super mutant's eyes? No, not an elevator. It's been several seasons. I've had all the mental preparation I need to be successful in the mission. Haha, dog! With the job done, I return to the Pridwin.
Cute boss.
And let Elder Maxson know that I've returned by slamming him in the back of the head and screaming in his face. He learns me of a mysterious signal uncovered by Paladin Dance and his recon team, but very slowly. I've already hit him a bunch of times, so I'm just here, like, stimming the time away, I guess. The only thing left for me to do now is find the railroad, like Dr. Amari said, and learn from them how to decode the Corsa chip. Choo-choo. Now, I know where they are, but I haven't gotten anywhere near there that is a very good place to fast travel to without crossing the river, which I do. Gracefully. Like a majestic manatee. But then I remembered the power armor suit I left behind, so I went back to get it and have to cross the river again. This time, very slowly. Walking. Note I have no helmet on. I am simply built different, like at a diagonal angle. I enter the church the railroad are in. I shoot some sleeping ghouls. And you know those irritating websites that impose the arbitrary password rules on you? Oh, this one needs a capital letter, and you need to have at least one symbol like an exclamation point in it. Your password can't just be dongman, it has to be capital D dongman35 #%. Well, those websites don't exist in Fallout 4. Honestly, the railroad is so stupid. This takes an absurdly long time, by the way. I'm really quite upset about it. I'm not even gonna let them turn the lights on. They'll just eat one of these. Yeah, take that! I bet you have smoker's breath. She says to Sam that she's coming home, but she can't go home if she's been blown apart. Is she stupid? I comically explode this one guy. Good, clean family fun. Pam says she is processing, but being non-biological, she is unable to take Jet, and as such, she's inferior. With the railroad dealt with, I go through the emails and use the delicate scientific equipment that I simply understand how to use because I think about Mama Murphy, and we decode the Corsa chip. Fun fact, there's a pack of cigars here, which means Kellogg was a railroad. We return to Virgil, who is hideous, so I hold this massive piece of meat up against his face to avoid eye contact.
I told you I'd get it done, didn't I?
Whoa there. Let's keep the eye contact to a minimum, please. Look at the quivering, the quivering slab of meat in your face.
I've made some friends in the Commonwealth.
I've made some friends. Whoa. Hang on, I can see the top of his head. The meat's Oh no, Virgil, stop! Don't do this to me, Virgil. Enough's enough. No, God! What's up, homie? With our way inside the Institute secured, Maxson tells us to speak with Proctor Ingram about building the transponder.
Elder Maxson said you'd help me build the signal interceptor. Elder Maxson said you'd...
A short walk outside, and I build a highly advanced signal transponder not quite in a cave, but definitely with a box of scraps. Such is the radical knowledge unlocked within by my rampant irresponsible use of performance-enhancing chems. And also this hat. This hat has an antenna on it, so brain signals are radio waves that get expanded. I return to Proctor Ingram to let her know her trifle task has been completed.
I glued a bunch of parts together and hoped for the best. Good enough?
Unfortunately, the signal interceptor is not complete without some extra items. Fortunately, these items have been conveniently marked on the map so that I don't have to think for myself. Unfortunately, the first piece is at a location quite remote to which I have no fast travel points. And so begins the long run. The grand pressing of the W key. And before you all get up in the comments telling me to use the auto run button, I'm thinking about landmines. You're not my dad. I unbound it and my keyboard is broken. I wasn't quick enough. Wait, when did I last save? Phantom circuit board, okay. The next location is where things get sticky. Not only was it a bit of a maze of elevators on which I would have to wait 1,000 years to change floors, it was also a little confusing. And the item we need, the biometric scanner, is behind this locked door right here.
That's really strong.
Now, yes, I understand that I can probably go and find one elsewhere, but you see, just like in-game, my real-life brain is also severely compromised and I'd not even considered looking. And to get through the locked door, I would need to level up and put a point into lockpicking, which requires 4 perception, and at least we have that. And so follows a cautionary tale for all of you. What you are about to witness is probably 1 part gambling, 2 part gambler's fallacy, okay? I figured if it took me 10-ish minutes to get through the last area with the elevator and a locked door, I'll find a shortcut back so I don't have to repeat that again. So I went out the back way and found this barred door. Okay, I think to myself, I'll just unbar that door from the other side so that I can make my way up through the parking block, saving myself like 10 minutes. Alright, so starting now, I clear the road level of super mutants. Okay, no problem. I've only lost 1 minute. I go down the stairs from the top level to the mid level so I can get in this door to open the barred door, with easy access from the road. Also barred. Okay, no worries, I'll just enter from road level. So I enter at road level, into this really unsettling labyrinth of wooden panels and unwittingly signed up to participate in Jigsaw's little turbo-anal blast parking garage party. But that's okay, it's only been 3 minutes. There's a sliding door puzzle. I think I get it now. Do that one, and then I'll press that one, and then I go inside, I'm pretty sure. I see. It'd be a shame if I was trying to make good time or something, right? An explosive booby-trapped room that I just sprint through because my perception of time is vastly overtuned relative to real time. There's an army of ghouls. There's only one left. I can make it quick. Oh, I make it back to the ghouls. First door unbarred. Cool. I now have access to here from the stairs to street level. Should be straightforward now from here to the last door, right? Right? There's a coil trap. I just have to stand here and wait for it to finish. This takes a very long time. I'm quite angry about it. There's an automatic rifle booby trap. You know, again, just have to wait for it. Pretty angry about it. A tripwire explosive that I apparently step on before I'm even in range to interact with it. And then things just start to blow up, but let me tell you, Todd has shit to answer for, because I refuse to believe so much as my toenail even brushed that wire. Shit's blowing up all around me, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Oh god. I'm freaking out, man. There's a flamethrower trap. And I don't even stop to observe because I'm so rattled, I just run away. But you know, I just have to wait for the flame traps to run out. This makes me quite angry, and then I realize these rooms don't even go anywhere. So I just walk past them, and I unbar the door and make my way outside. Okay, wow. I've unlocked the shortcut. Cool. 23 minutes. That took me 23 minutes. I was speechless. Todd really upset me this time. He really did. But hey, at least when I return, I save 10 minutes, right? God damn it. However, I still have to level up to get a point into lockpicking, and you know, maybe Todd will throw me a bone, you know? Maybe there's some mercy in this world. I'll pick up a mission or two from Night Cakes over here, and that should be enough to push me over into a level up or something. God damn, he's caked! He's caked! Look at him! God damn, my boy's thick.
Ready.
Huh. Just discovering the location leveled me up. I guess Knight Reese won't be getting his wish after all. An hour and 20-minute detour later. I really don't want to talk about it. I return to the Brotherhood hideout at the Boston airport. I construct the final components with the help of our ever-present leader. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to let Proctor Ingram man the controls to teleport me into the Institute, and not into like the vacuum of space or the Earth's core, despite having bashed her in the head with a baseball bat those few times. So I hop on the platform, but there's a problem. We're locked in place. Cannot move, cannot open our inventory, nothing. And so, we just stand here for a very, very long time. I have 2 legs, but I cannot move. A mind, but I cannot think. A mouth, and I cannot scream. And that's when it happens.
Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make
No.
sense of whatever it found.
I'm so bad.
Oh well, looks like we have a...
Oh, god damn it. I have to do this all again, but first I have to let myself sober up by sitting on the chair or something, and then chem up right before I jump on the platform, and just hope that the duration of the chem effect lasts long enough that I can complete this segment. Alright, Dr. Proctor, I'll see you on the other side. What? Why is he... He's just standing there like that. I stand on the teleporter, flexing in place, asserting dominance on the situation at hand. I was going to be successful. I was going to get into the Institute and get my leather sack of pre-war chems back. And I think his name was Sean or something. But who cares? I am a monument to humanity's triumph. Our mastery over technology, pure dominance in the face of adversity. If I were to go to a doctor for a blood test, I'd be turned away. Confused. The phlebotomist would say, "There's not enough blood in your chems to get a reading, sir." I may not like it, sir, but this is what peak performance looks like. I've never been more ready. Beam me off. Jack me in. Woo! Let's get that bag. I am sent into the Institute, a still image of pure masculinity. I glide upon the soles of my feet using the power of jet and testosterone. These people are looking at me on the camera like, oh man, we've been infiltrated. There's nothing we can do. Alright, let's all take turns in the euthanasia chamber before he gets here. Resourceful? No. But unstoppable? Yeah, also no. Oh, how kind of them to open the door and allow me in. These people can probably see and hear me through the glass. The leader put me in here willingly, and they're watching me come down screaming obscenities at them. There he is. I see my leather sack of chems from behind this mysterious transparent barrier that I do not understand nor will ever be able to comprehend. Their technology is simply beyond me.
So many years stolen. These bad people, they stole you from me, those bastards. They took you from me. I'll kill them for this. All of them. Sean, please. Calm down.
This old guy walks in and talks about stuff that would probably be worth paying attention to, maybe. But I am distracted by the legs and feet I see clipping through the wall in the background. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but we have to be patient. It's early days. This will be patched out eventually.
Give me Sean. the real Sean. Right now!
There's actually no subtitles for this bit. I have no idea what he's saying.
Bullshit.
There it is, baby. I told you he was just an elaborate leather sack of animatronics that was filled with all our pre-war chems. Look, one of them has a name that goes off the UI. It's meant to say tastes like gasoline. I wrote that. I made that. I calmly leave the institute. Everyone can see me in the elevator leaving. It's magical. What was that? Elder Maxson gave me a task to perform while I'm in here? Nah, man. Who cares? We made it, baby. I got my chems. Victim of violence? You're gonna be a victim of one of these. I call that the episode 1 special. I have to interact with the computer terminal to escape, but I get confused and end up playing this video game for a little bit. I'm on the hard stuff now, you see. And with that being the win condition for this challenge, if you can even call it that, we're here, winning. And Bort Blorpin Jr. gets to live his best life. Until heart failure gets him, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And as such, I'd like to leave you on a final word. It's not our actions that define us, but our chems. Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox said that.